One thing I want to talk is basically getting the trust in offshore labor of Filipinos. One of the things as the business owner that I struggle a lot of times is with the culture difference. Obviously, there is a culture difference. It has pros and cons. I can tell you that I love the Filipinos. I'm also other offshore opportunities in Central and South America, but now I'm talking about the Filipinos that are actually taking the vast majority of offshore work. I love the culture difference. I think they're great with service. They're very, very humble. They're very hardworking, like you mentioned, very serviceable. But there's also the cons, right? And at the beginning, a lot of times, me and also other Americans will, the fact that the Filipino is so servicing and always say, noted, sir, yes, sir, they would see this as a weakness. And I would try to explain my Filipino employees, hey, don't say noted, sir, say I got it. You know, it's about how you interact. I could say that in the beginning, it could create some trust issues with people that are not as open-minded and say, like, what's going on with those guys? And I want to say, and that's the most important thing, and that's why I think we are a success story. It's proper expectations at the beginning, saying, hey, that's what's going to happen, and we're going to tweak and work with it, but they do have a lot of pros. The second thing, and before the onboarding, and then, like I said before, the importance of the owner or the doctor itself being within the process, and also eliminating interior politics within the organization. Because a lot of times what's going to happen, like office manager or front desk are going to say, hey, I don't want to work with those guys, and they're going to try to sabotage the implements of the VAs. And they're doing it because they're like, these guys can actually replace me for half the price, and they work harder. You know, that's kind of. So yeah, go ahead.
I got to do the last one first, because this is important. So this is what I've noticed in the office here, is that what happened was, and with the other VA agencies, and it was easy because they were lousy and so forth, right? So a lot of the employees were like poo-pooing it and saying, this is garbage. And they were really helping the VAs out, and they were self-sabotaging it, because you know what, they're going to get replaced. And the employees that we had were very much into the idea that I like the idea that I can just ghost you whenever I want, and I've got you over a barrel, and I can't be replaced because nobody's out there, and this whole thing. Well, we started with you with the phones. All of us, and here's the thing. One of the things I did was I made sure I kind of sheltered your employees a little bit from the rest of what was going on here. So that, number one, the employees here knew this wasn't a test. This is just happening. You can either do it or you can go. I'm more interested in the VAs being here than I am in you being here. And they needed to hear that. And guess what? When one started being successful, two started being successful, the tone changes. Because what's happened, and we actually lost a pretty high-ranking person over here as this developed, because they weren't doing their job.
Yeah.
And they realized.
I literally have a doctor now that is trying to replace his office manager with more VAs. And we need to kind of work with him around it. You know, let her know.
If that person needs some pointers, I'd be willing to help them out with this, because I've been through this. It's impressive, the difference. But now, let me tell you, the tone of the office is different. The office, the people who are here see the VAs as being part of our team. It's fully integrated now, and it didn't take long, because very quickly the troublemakers got weeded out, because they knew they were going to get weeded out, and they either left or they changed. And you know, honestly, it was better off when they left, because we didn't need the headache. They could easily be replaced.